if you're an expert in the fitness niche or you're an expert in the sign niche or whatever, you're going to know these things. So as long as you can blend your services into how to plug that hole, I mean, it's game over.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the High Level Spotlight Sessions, where we showcase awesome marketers doing awesome marketing. Today, I'm joined by Chris Lyle, who is an attorney, also a marketer, co-founder of LawHustle. Chris, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I'm really excited to talk to you, Chris, because ever since I've known of HighLevel, like when I was still running an agency and had just found it, the like shining example of what you could do was always a demo of LawHustle. So you got in super early, I believe, right? Somehow you hooked
Yeah.
up with Sean in the early days, Sean and Varun. And
Yeah.
talk to me about that.
Yeah. So it was kind of, this is all kind of, I wouldn't say a mistake, but, Sean, I started with Sean a long time ago, and we were specifically doing stuff for our law firm because we had, a hodgepodge of different softwares and systems that we were using to do this for our clients. And when HighLevel came along and they had all the tools that we needed to put it all in one spot, and then I could amplify it by building it up myself. That's when like things really got crazy. So we used to just specifically do this for our law firm in general. And then Sean came to me at some point and he said, Chris, you really need to sell this at a law firm. He's like, you do something really unique here, and you probably should, package this up and sell it to the law firms. And I was like, maybe not. And then that's kind of how it all started. And ever since then, I've just been off to the races. So like I still run my law firm. We run LawHustle in our law firm, and then I also offer this out to other law firms who want to really maximize the value that they're spending on their marketing budget. Because as a law firm, I know that marketing agencies kind of just deliver leads, and then most attorneys are very terrible at follow up, and they don't know how to get those leads and convert them into clients. So I literally just fill that bubble right there for them to make it more efficient for them. So if they're spending $1,000 on marketing or $10,000, whatever I'm saying, I want to be able to squeeze every penny out of that for them. And that's kind of the results I've been able to get for my clients and
Which is
myself,
really,
obviously.
which is really interesting, and I want to come back to what you just said, like your positioning in the market, because I think it's really it makes a ton of sense. But I'm really excited to talk to you because one, I see a lot of people making that same transition, right? They're an expert of their industry, right? I've been doing, buying and selling homes for 35 years. I know everything there is to know, and I want to package up my knowledge and sell it to other people as an agency. That type of jump. So it sounds like that was you, right? You were a lawyer, trying to figure out, make marketing happen with a bunch of different things. You got HighLevel. It enabled you to bundle it all up. And then Sean put the idea in your head that like, hey, you have it all bundled up. And with HighLevel, white label, you could now become an agency and start selling it to the same thing to other people, right? And I think this is a mindset shift that even agencies have to make. And I help them through it on our daily onboarding calls of like, hey, you're a marketing agency, but with HighLevel, you now have a product, right? You put your logo on it and you go sell it as a product first and then services on top of that. So I think it's really cool. And I'd love to double back to what you were just talking about, your positioning in the market. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen and just show the homepage of LawHustle here. Jumpstart your business. We will increase the value of your firm's marketing budget by 10x or double, even triple the number guaranteed. But where was it where you said, okay, with your existing marketing budget and the LawHustle system, you will book more clients. So I love the fact that, I think it was in this video. It's like, what the heck is LawHustle and what do we do? And you make it super clear that this right here, how do I pause this? Can I pause that? I guess I can't. My point is you make it super clear that you sit in between marketing spend and a business, right? So flesh that out a little bit, because I think that's a little different than the way most people try to position it.
Yeah, and the reason why this all came up is because like in my own law firm, for example, like I'd pay marketing agencies to deliver a service to me, and that service would be leads or something, right? And then, but their job, like there's a big disconnect between marketing agencies and law firms. And I think people who deal with law firms all the time understand that. Notoriously, law firms hate marketing agencies because of this. But they just drop a lead on the doorstep, and then it's up to the attorney to chase down that person to, get them as a client, right? So, but attorneys are busy with clients. They're in court. They can't get on the phone like every second of the day because they're either doing whatever they're doing or in client meetings. And then if you leave it to somebody like your admin or your paralegals to take care of it, it doesn't really come off as personal that it should be. And then you end up just losing the lead altogether. So there's a huge void there, and we experienced it in our own law firm. So I just made the whole dang system automated. So like leads come in, they automatically get followed up on, they get pushed into the appointment section. And then we even take it a step further. We like push them from after they even have the consultation with us to get them to sign the agreements, and then make them, make a retainer agreement, like all the way down the pipeline until they say, yes, you're hired as the attorney. So we essentially just fill that void that attorneys are essentially bad at and marketing agencies don't deliver. And I've been trying to teach this, like if you can blend your marketing agency services into the sales cycle of whatever industry you're servicing, it becomes a very sticky situation. They're not going to get rid of you because all of a sudden you're delivering value to them just by blending your agency services into their sales cycle. So
right. Exactly. And so to be clear, you do not have a call center, right? You are not calling leads for other attorneys, correct?
No. Well, by trade, I'm technically a patent attorney, and I deal with hardware and software engineers all day long. So I think like a software developer, and I kind of act that way. So everything in our system is built in a way that's almost, I wouldn't say idiot proof, but it's in a way that it's just easy for the attorney to use, either by dragging boxes left to right, or that's really about it. Because if you try to teach an attorney to do something new, they're not going to learn it, and they're not going to get the results they want, and they're not going to be able to do it. So like I built everything to be pretty much automated. All you got to do is drag a box maybe left to right one time. That's really about all you have to do. And the rest of it is just follow up. The context of the messages change, and we drive them along down the pipeline to get them to that final stage, which is after hiring as the attorney.
My man. And so that's exactly how I thought when I was running the operations of our agency. I used to have this battle with our CEO, right? And I would be like, we should be selling this as your staff won't have to do anything, because we're banging our heads against clients saying, you got to call these people right away. And even with the automated call step, our niche was medical, mostly med spa. The people working the front desk were usually pretty young, and they were answering phones, greeting people, taking out the trash, walking the doctor's dog. Like, they just weren't calling people. And in my mind, it's like, it's not realistic that we're going to get these people to change their habits and start calling leads. But with HighLevel, we could automate the whole thing. They won't have to. And when we started selling it like that, it was like, oh my gosh, once the owner started hearing, wait, we're not responsible, we don't have to do anything. And it's like, well, if you want to call them, it'll get even better. But automatically, out of the box, your numbers are going to jump up just because of our system. So I love it. I love it. Let me go back to my notes here. So the other thing when we were planning for this, you had mentioned strategies for follow-up that convert. And you said something about like, they're never going to leave you the way that you guys do things. So talk to me about that. All right, you sell the platform, great, but what is happening here? What are these follow-up strategies that you've got in place?
So typically most, from what I see, I'm not a marketing guru or anything, but most typical strategies I see from marketing agencies is they'll send 3 to 5 emails or 3 to 5 text messages, and they'll get them to try to get them to book an appointment or whatever it is. And sometimes they'll shove the calendar link right in their face right out of the gate, and I feel like it just doesn't really convert. And if for somebody who's doing professional services, someone like me, if I want to take this, like let's take this conversation 2 steps back. You have to, in any industry, I think there has to be trust, right? You're not going to hire an accountant off the street to manage your books and deliver accounting services and do your taxes for you if you don't trust them, right? Mm-hmm. So the goal of the follow-up is to provide a personal approach to the follow-up so they think they're being tendered and nurtured through the process, right? And the way to do that is like the best strategy to do this is like the follow-up has to be from the person who's going to be the one's going to be dealing with the person. And for example, in our system, all the messages come from the attorney, right? It's no paralegal, it's no admin, it's nothing. They come, they look, feel, and they taste like they all come to the attorney to start building that trust, right? So by the time they deliver, they're on your doorstep or on the phone for a consultation, they already feel like they know you, and they already feel like they trust you because you are the attorney, you were the first one to reach out with them. And it creates a trust tree, I guess you would say, right out of the gate, that I think most people don't deliver to people. Most people say like, get the compensation you deserve, or, click this link to schedule an appointment with us, when it should be like, let me help you. Let's just get on the phone and talk. Like, is that something you're interested in? Yes, no. Like, it's easier to do. So like the typical strategy to have the best success is like, there has to be like, there's like literally like 4 core elements, right? It's speed, right? You literally got to touch these people within like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, or whatever it is. I mean, you could do it within minutes, it's fine. So you got to figure out a way to, as your leads are flowing in, they're automatically being dropped in the campaigns and automatically being followed up on, right? And you have to use multiple channels of communication. So there's a lot of people that will just use one source because, let's say, for example, text messaging, they say is the best results. So everybody uses text messages and they don't use anything else, right? But in reality, you don't really know who your end user is, right? So you're going to know, what if they answer emails before they answer text messages? So you really have to blanket. It's like going out fishing, right? So taking one route out fishing, you're going to take 5 out fishing. And there's a reason why HighLevel has drop voicemails. It has, forced call connects. It has SMS. It has emails. There's a reason why they have all those things. So you got to attack it with speed. It's got to be from multiple angles of communication during your strategy. It also has to be personal. Like, you really have to be genuine, and sincere in the messages, right? Like, I'm not saying that the owner of any business is going to be the first person that talks to them, but if you are the owner and those messages were the first messages that the potential customer or client receives, you create some sort of trust right out of the gate that you're not going to. It's like the first impression is everything, right? Attorneys are notorious for being too busy, not being able to help their clients, and then ensuring that they don't have time to follow up with their potential new clients, right? So if the attorney is the first person who actually is at a touch point, all of a sudden, like the tables turn, and that person's like, call this guy. This is the attorney who's actually going to be handling my case, and he's going to be the one that's going to be helping me. So like, they'll hire you. Like, the probability of them hiring you is dramatically increased. So if you just provide some sort of like personal approach, also not shoving calendar links in people's faces is good. Like, let them raise their hand first. Like, do you want to? Yes. Then they raise their hand, and then you do some sort of animation to provide that calendar link to them to get them. And then
So
the other thing is,
quick question. Do you use the positive intent trigger as part of that?
Yeah, all the time. And I'm probably, I talk to other people in the group, and I tell them, I use that all the time. They're like, you get that thing to work? And I'm like, yeah, if you direct the questions in the context of the message to like pigeonhole them into like a positive, negative response, you can get them to work really well. It's not gonna catch everything, but it's going to work. And the last strategy you got to have is like, whoever your customer is, you got to reverse engineer your conversation around like what they want. And this is specific to the professional industry. Like, it may happen in other industries as well, but like most attorneys or marketing agencies will say like, they'll message somebody and say like, get the compensation you deserve, or, call us because we settled a case for $1 billion for a previous client. In reality, the person on the line doesn't give a rat's butt about that at all. They care about their situation. Like, it's either getting proper medical treatment, it's getting their claim not denied, or it's you got to reverse engineer conversations around like the help that you can provide them. So like, all my messaging is based around like helping somebody. Like, do you want help? Let's get on a phone call and just talk about it. Let me see if I can help you out or anything like that, right? It's all around like help to get them to raise their hand so they can trust me, and then drive them down the pipeline to actually hire me, right? And it's super dang successful. I mean, we can churn at our own law firm. We churn about, I don't know, like $4,000 or maybe like $3,000 to $5,000, depending on what we spend on a monthly basis, and like lead generation ad spend. I can change it into like $75,000, like, and down the line pipeline, because it's all contingency basis stuff. And it's just being consistent with your follow up. Like 20% of it is delivering the lead, 80% of it is just following up with them, and then if you can make that personal, fast, multiple angles of communication, and genuine and sincere, like, hands down, you're going to have success. I mean, you could be the worst person on the face of the planet. If you just implement this, you can at least double their client base by like literally doing nothing. And that's just
it's really interesting. A couple of things I took from that, which I really like, are one, we have this conversation a lot of like, well, eventually everybody's going to be using HighLevel, and it's like, we're all going to be competing against each other. And I always say, it's not. Like, HighLevel is amazing for what you can build in it, but the magic is in the creativity and the messaging, right? The magic is the content that you build in with your automations to be sent out. And what I loved, what I got from what you said is your message is, hey, I want to listen to you. Would you give me the opportunity to listen to you so you can tell me how I can help you? And I think things like that are so easy to miss. It's almost like a lot of people overthink it. But 100%. I mean, once you're setting these things up, the other no-brainer you said is it should be the main person, right? All we're talking about is whose name is going out in the automation, right? So why wouldn't you make it the top dog at the business? Because he's not literally sitting there waiting to answer these messages, right? We're talking about automation here. So make it, the top person, and then get creative. Like, it always baffles me, like when people don't take advantages of, hey, when someone hits a thank you page, maybe there should be a video there. They could record it with their phone and you can embed it right on the page, and then they're hearing that person. You know what I mean? Like what you said, you want them to feel like they've already gotten to know you by the time you actually do get on the call or get on the Zoom or whatever it is that you're going to do. So really good stuff. Let's double back now to blending agency services into the client sales cycle. So what I think that you meant by that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you've got LawHustle set up as a SaaS product, right? But you're not saying, hey, we're going to run ads for you. But a lot of the high-level community do run ads, right? So is that what you meant by blending agency services with this?
Yeah, and the reason why I say this is because I'm on the completely other side of the fence. Like, I'm on the business side of the fence versus being on the marketing side of the fence, like all you guys are. So the problem is like I said before, marketing agencies deliver a service, right? And then once they deliver the service, they hands off. Like, that's it, I'm done. Like, there's no additional help to get that business the success that they need to grow, right? Which is a lot of the reason why people fire marketing agencies. Like, your leads are crap, like they're not good, like you're not delivering me enough. But in reality, if you can just take your services and then take that hole, which I fill, and blend your services into that hole to where you can fill up that hole so you can deliver value to the end user, you're going to be in a situation where they're not going to be able to get rid of you. Because if they got rid of you, you had to export yourself out of that situation, all of a sudden the hole's there again and they're just losing money like it's left and right. So like I talked about this in a training with some other people, but like it's the hole between the marketing agency and the client and your client retaining the new customer or client. That's the hole. Like, if you could fill that hole in addition to funneling your services into that, you are going to be in a position where they're not going to be able to get rid of you, and you'll be able to provide more services. And this also applies to, this happens in the legal industry. It's like, legal law firms may hire a marketing agency, but there's a 98% chance that they actually have another service that's delivering these at the same time, right? So they're going to have one marketing agency that's delivering SEO or something like that, and they're going to have another marketing agency that's delivering leads or whatever they're doing, right? But if you're the marketing agency that delivers one aspect of that, plus you plug that hole, now all the other marketing agency services are flowing into your hole that you plugged, and you're not going anywhere. And then eventually you're going to be able to swoop up all those people into your services because they're not going to want to get rid of you, but they'll get rid of everybody else. So it's really that. So I say blending. Yeah. So it's like blending is like, you just have to blend your services into their sales cycle. Whatever the sales cycle is, like this should be in your strategy calls. Like, I do this all the time. It's like I get on the phone with attorneys and I talk about their intake process. What do you do? How do you do it? And like, so I find a way to plug the hole. I implement my system to plug the hole. And then at the end of the day, they just funnel leads into the wherever they're getting leads from, just funnel into my hole, the hole that's filled by me. And that's it. It's like, it just put dirt in the hole and they're just done. And then I'm done. So.
Well, it's super interesting. And when you think about it, you could almost, especially like when I talk to new marketers coming in and they're like, I'm not really an expert yet at running ads. I need to go get clients. And it's almost like, hey, you could really just become, instead of like, hey, I do lead gen, it's like, hey, I'm a conversion specialist. Well, wait, what does that mean? Like, are you paying for ads? Yeah. Do you want them to convert better? Yeah. We should insert my platform in between the guys that are running your ads in your business. And it's funny because the people who generate the leads are the ones that have all the pressure, right? Like, these leads are either awesome or they stink, and it's going to be your fault either way. The conversion expert could slide right in there in between, just make things better, and this brings up pricing. So on LawHustle's site, you go to pricing and you have to request a quote, right? What is the average sale? What does LawHustle cost on average? Give me a range here.
So we have a range of services, and our services it will range from like a done for you all the way down to like you doing it yourself.
Mhm.
Majority of attorneys don't want to deal with it, so it's always a done for you model. So our service comes with a setup fee and a monthly recurring management fee. But with our service, you get there's a lot of strategy goes involved with this, right? It's not just like you plug in and you start working. Like there's a whole
Sure.
strategy with me. It's a custom build out by me. So like it's not just like a SaaS license where I divvy them out, right? There's a lot of strategic advice and custom building of each one of my clients' instances to make sure I can maximize that. And then I also have ongoing optimization for them to make sure that it's running efficiently. So to give you a range, it could be, a setup fee can range from $5,000 or less, or, in the month, a retainer fee could be like $1,500 or less. Just depends on the situation, how many lead sources, and also the stuff that could, depends. So it's
So
definitely more of a high ticket value. It's a high ticket thing because I'm delivering service to high ticket people. Law firms, general case is probably $5,000, right? So if they got 2, 3, 4, 5 extra cases just by being more efficient with follow up, I mean, that's worth it to them out the door. So it just depends on your
sure.
industry, what you're doing on and what you can offer this in. But yeah, that's what we do. It's more of a high ticket item for me because there's a lot of customization that I go on there and do it, and I provide a lot of strategic advice for them to be a little more efficient, and I help them fix their problems because I work in the legal industry, so I
Yep.
can walk the walk and talk with them like you should be doing this, you should be doing this, and this is what you should be doing. So it helps out a
Sure.
lot with me. But if you're an expert in the fitness niche or you're an expert in the sign niche or whatever, you're going to know these things. So as long as you can blend your services into how to plug that hole, I mean, it's game over. Like they're not going to fire you. There's literally no way they're going to fire you unless they go out of business or retire or something like that. Like I don't
Yeah.
see how that is.
Yeah, no, and I love the idea of, hey, we need to charge a setup fee because you're right. When you have those conversations, if you are an expert of that industry, you're gonna find holes all over the place, right? You're like, wait, how are you doing your contracts? Like, no, 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 let me show you something else. You're gonna fix all these ancillary things that they didn't even know were broken before you even get to setting up HighLevel, right? And then you set that up, you train them on that. That this all takes time, right? But by the time you get to the end of the training, they're super thrilled because they have all this awesome stuff going on that they didn't have before. So you're getting, $5,000 setup fee, it sounds like. I think for, the average industry, a $1,500 setup fee is pretty common. I would say pretty average. That's still a good chunk of change for a setup. And then you're getting your monthly retainer, right? And the HighLevel, the SaaS model is beautiful because maybe you get a random question every now and then about, hey, how do I do this thing over here? But it's the lead gen people that are getting all the questions, going back to what I was talking about, right? So it's like if a problem occurs and you're the platform guy, it's like, well, you need more leads. Do you want me to get your leads for you? Because I could
Mhm.
probably do better than those guys. And then
This is
bang, you
exactly the conversation
upsell,
comes up.
and now you've got the whole thing, right? So I love
Yeah.
selling HighLevel as the foot in the door sale of like, let me just make your life better. Tell me your problems. I'll give you a bunch of answers. I'll set you up on this awesome platform. We'll get it going. And then I'm going to upsell you my other services after you already love me, right? So I think it's awesome. And I think kudos to whoever you hired to do your designs. Everything about LawHustle just seems really buttoned up, really professional. It seems like a full-on SaaS product. So nice work.
Yeah. No, I like how it all turned out after Sean convinced me to do it.
Well, I think he had an ulterior motive because he knew he needed a great case study because that's our go-to demo is like, let's break out LawHustle and show these people what they could be doing here.
Yeah, it's
Um,
funny too because I see people do events and then like I'll see pictures or videos and I'm like, wait a second, that's my stuff on the background right there.
yeah, no, it looks great. So Chris, before we go, you had mentioned that you're launching some sort of course. You're going to spill your guts out. Tell us about it. Is it in motion? Where are you at?
Yeah, no, it's definitely emotion. I never really thought it was a need until I actually asked the group if they would be interested in some sort of like training, like where I can bridge the gap between agencies and the legal profession. So, and then I realized that the system we actually provide, it could apply to any industry. So I'm in the process of putting together a course that literally is just me spilling my guts on exactly how I set it up, exactly how it runs. Like, it's not gonna have campaigns, but like, it's pretty much gonna be like the structure, the triggers, and how everything works and how you can implement it. So I'm going to be putting that together, and I'm going to be launching it to the group because I think it'd be very beneficial, plus other people who may be coming in the group as well. Obviously, it's going to come along with other things like, you know, one-on-one coaching if you're interested in things like that. So if you're interested, I'm going to be doing pre-orders at some point in the very near future. So just send me a DM on Facebook or something like that, and we can definitely do it, because I've already had a ton of people ask me, like, can I buy your snapshot? Can I buy your snapshot? And I'm like, well, if I gave you my snapshot, you have no idea how it would ever work. I have to like put together some training so you understand the philosophy and why I did what I did. And it's more than just like 3 messages out of the gate, right? It's way, 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 way in depth. And I'm literally just going to spill the beans on the training, because I think if I can bridge the gap between legal marketing agencies and businesses to be more efficient, I think we're all going to be in a better position as agency owners. So.
Hey, but I love that. And I love how it's going to come with, so you are going to do some coaching and some support, because I think when people think about going marketing in the legal industry, it's a little scary, because if I slip up, these guys are lawyers. Like, I feel like a lot of people have that fear of like, that would be the last group of people I would want to screw up with. So to have like a consultant on call, I think would be a great opportunity if you wanted to go into the legal niche, which I think is good, because as you explained, there's money in that niche, right? Legal law firms are accustomed to paying thousands of dollars for things because they make thousands of dollars every time they generate new business. So where can people contact you, Chris, if they want to get more information about what you're setting up?
Well, it's like 2 ways to get to me. It's either A, on Facebook. You can just message me on Facebook. I'm in the group. I kind of lurk around all the time. And then you can also email me directly at chris.golawhustle.com. Is the best way to get a hold of me. Either one of those options is good. If you're interested in my course that I will soon be releasing, slash one-on-one slash group coaching, I think it'd be very beneficial for a lot of people. It's just reach out to me, and then I'll let you know when I go live, and then I'm just going to do it because I think it's going to do well. Not necessarily for me, but I'm saying, like, I think it's going to benefit a lot of people. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, I agree. Awesome, Chris. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next one.